Good day, fellow observers. Today we are going to do a Popeyes test for version 12.5.4.1, and it's gonna be a 14-minute drive, 2.1 miles. Let me activate FSD. Okay, so I activated, and now, okay, so it's giving some way. All right, good. Then we have a double parked car here. Okay, good signal.
Now turn right on 239th Avenue.
And now we have a yellow light. Now we have a red. Okay, so I have to press brakes here. And I have to actually back up because there is a chance that a bus might be making a turn. So I'm still on drive. I didn't activate it. I'll activate it once we have a green light because I don't want it to advance, because earlier it advanced. And we are just waiting. Okay, good. So now we are advancing and I activated. Now we're making a right. Now we have a series of always here. Okay, that was a close gap on the Jeep on the right. I was about to disengage. Okay, good.
In 500 feet, turn right onto 65th Street.
So we have an all-way here. And now we are advancing. Okay, now we're stopping. Okay, good stop. All right, good.
Now turn right onto 65th Street.
Okay, we have a stop, and then we should be able to advance. Okay, usually this is a difficult turn, but because there's no traffic, it is simpler this time. Okay, I think we will have a green light soon. Okay, steering wheel is moving. Okay, now we have a green. Okay, good. It's advanced slowly because I think the motorcycle just moved forward, and so I think FSD kind of want to give some distance for that.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Woodside Avenue.
Okay, now we're veering off a bit to the left because of this double parked SUV.
Now turn left onto Woodside Avenue.
Okay, now we are making a left and 654. Okay, good, we'll make it. Okay, good. Threading itself in. It's not really tight, but...
Now turn right onto 65th Place.
Okay, so we have a green light here. Okay, good.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Queens Blvd. Now turn left onto Queens Blvd.
Now we have a green light. Let's see what case we have, because sometimes this can be difficult. And I had to make several disengages in my prior tests. Sometimes it passes though too, so let's see. Okay, so far so good. We are in position and we are not completely blocking all the oncoming cars. Now, let me see. Okay, good. We have a window. Nice. Now we are going straight here. Okay, now we are advancing, but I have to point this out. There are speed cameras here and we are on an auto speed setting. Sometimes if the cars around me are going above 25, FSD will also do the same or try to mirror around the same speed. And good thing that the car ahead is slow, so we're kind of on a good speed. But there was a time that the car ahead was running 30 miles and sometimes a bit over. There was a flash of a camera from the speed cam for that car ahead. But so far I didn't have any tickets. So that's something you have to keep in mind if you're driving here on Queens Blvd and you activated FSD.
In 500 feet, bear right to stay on Queens Boulevard.
Okay, I have a feeling that FSD won't be able to make a bear right because it should have done it at this point. So I will let it be and see where this will lead us. Maybe we'll have another reroute just like what we have in the past test. Okay, we have a green light. Now, I don't think we'll make a bear right here.
Now bear right to stay on Queens Boulevard.
Okay, so we're missing this bear right. And now we are making a recalculation. So it didn't recalculate yet, but I think for the recalculation, it's still good that FSD here is on the bear right because it's easier for it to go to the off-ramp towards the outer lanes. Now we have a green light.
Now turn left onto Grand Avenue.
Okay, see, this always is the case for its reroute. It's saying to make a left, but it didn't position itself to the bare left for the left turn bay. So now we're making another recalculation.
In 500 feet, take the Queens Boulevard ramp on the right.
Okay, now we are going to stop. Now we have a green light. So let's see if FSD can make a lane change.
Now take the Queens Boulevard ramp on the right.
I don't think it's able to. Yeah, there's no space here. Yep, there's no space, but thank you for that. So shout out to that SUV giving way. And this is one of the things that I've pointed out in other tests. I think hopefully FSD would be able to position itself for the next turn or next sequence, because had it positioned itself to the rightmost lane prior to exiting, that would have been an easier transition for FSD. Okay, so now we just go straight and let's see how the U-turn is gonna be. Now we have a green light and we are advancing.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Elliot Avenue, then turn left onto Queens Blvd. Now turn left onto Elliot Avenue.
Okay, now we are making a left here. I'm hoping that we're positioning itself to the left turn
Now
bay.
turn
Okay,
left
no.
onto Queens Blvd.
I think we will be deliberately going to the highway just like on the last test. Okay, now we have a green light. And I have to press the accelerator here. Oh snap, okay. Alright, so it turned here. Okay, that was unexpected. Okay, so now we are advancing and okay, good.
In 500 feet, take the Queens Blvd ramp on the left.
So now we're going to the ramp.
Now take the Queens Blvd ramp on the left. In 500 feet, make a U-turn at 57th Avenue to stay on Queens Blvd. Then turn right.
So I know that is something that FSD won't be able to do. So I'm gonna press the accelerator here because this is a solid line. Okay, so
now make a U-turn at 57th Avenue.
I'm disengaging because this is a solid line.
In 500 feet, make a U-turn at Grand Avenue to stay on Queens Blvd.
So it should be now that we should be making a lane change, but I don't think it's possible. So we will miss this U-turn here.
Now make a U-turn at Grand Avenue.
So I will disengage this if it still want to make a lane change, because I think even though I'm saying lane change, maybe it's thinking of making an actual U-turn. Excuse me. Okay, it still is keeping the left turn signal on, and it also recalculated. Okay, good. Okay, good recognition here that no U-turns on this left turn bay.
In 500 feet, make a U-turn at Albean Avenue to stay on Queens Blvd.
Okay, good.
Now make a U-turn at Albean Avenue.
Okay, now we have a green arrow. All right. Okay, now we're making a U-turn here. Okay, good.
In 500 feet, bear right to stay on Queens Boulevard.
Okay, so we are crossing a green here. And once we are on the outer lanes of Queens Boulevard,
Now bear right to stay on Queens Boulevard.
it's very hard to get lost and miss this one. Okay, so FSD is giving way for this merging pickup truck. Okay, now we're crossing another green.
In 500 feet, turn right. Then you will arrive at your destination.
Now we are advancing. We have this light and then another. So as you can see here, what these two vehicles are doing, this is something that's not allowed on Queens Boulevard. But you know, if you are someone who's just driving here as for the first time and you don't notice that, so there are such cases where you see these things happening. But you know, sometimes as you drive more frequently here, you kind of see the special cases for Queens Boulevard.
Now turn right.
Okay, so now we are making a right. I want to see if it will go into, oh snap, so it missed the parking spot. It didn't go in. So let me just disengage here and just park here. So it's been a while since FSD just parked on the sidewalk by the side street. What's the term for that? So anyway, let me just give my takeaways. So we started off from a double park state and it was able to advance, but the thing is, red light was right in front of FSD, but it didn't notice that there was this solid horizontal line where vehicles need to stop. So it went past that and went close to the pedestrian crossing. Now the thing is, it's something that, especially here in Queens, I think it's always good to stop by the white horizontal line, especially here. Although sometimes in other places, like, you can get away with that because there are no vehicles, but whenever you see horizontal lines for wherever you are, I think it's good to always stop there, and if you miss it, try to back up, because the reason for that is there might be a bus that might be turning and it will need that enough space to be able to make that turn, because I've seen it played out many times. And so that's something to keep in mind, just in case if you're using FSD and went over that and you're driving here in Queens. So it's more of an FYI. So I backed up, I disengaged, backed up, tried to be as close to the solid horizontal line. I was not able to back up enough, I should say, because there was a car behind me that was coming near. So I just stopped after that, and then once it turned green light, once the green light hit, then I reactivated FSD, and it was able to make the turn. And then we also went through, I think, 2 all stops, and FSD was able to adjust to pedestrians, and then we made a right to a stop sign. There were no cars at that stop sign. Usually that's a difficult case, but since there were none, then it was a simple right turn. And then it waited for the green light, and then it went straight after the green light, but it didn't advance right away because I think there was a motorcycle that passed by on its left side, and I think FSD was trying to give room for that. And so we made a left turn, went straight, made a left turn to Woodhaven Boulevard. No, not Woodhaven, Woodside Avenue, I think. And then made a left turn, and it was able also to make a right to 65th Place, and then made a left turn to Queens Blvd. Now on the left turn to Queens Blvd, it was able to wait and anticipate for a window, and it was able to see that window and make the left turn itself. And then we head straight. Then I had a comment with the speed cams, and also how speed cams and your auto speed setting on FSD might clash, or I should say like auto speed might go beyond the speed limit, which when you do, then you might be at risk for speed cam violations. So that's more of an FYI. Now the thing that needs to be considered, will you disengage at that point, or will you just follow the flow of traffic at that point? And that's also another FYI. And then the thing is, we went straight. FSD was not able to position to make a lane change to the rightmost lane in preparation for going to the outer lanes of Queens Blvd, and it missed that lane change, and it missed that exit to the outer lanes of Queens Blvd, and so we had to go straight. And the thing is, I noticed for several times that the next recalc would be make a left to Grand Avenue, but FSD didn't make lane changes to the left turn bay towards Grand Avenue. And so that was another recalculation, and then it went straight and then tried to exit now to the outer lanes of Queens Blvd, which is right there, right to my left, and it was able to do this. But the thing is, before doing that, it had to make a lane change to this lane, and that again, I'm hoping that in the future FSD would able to position in advance prior to making any turns, just so it's not making it more difficult. Because if FSD would make a lane change before exiting here instead of positioning right away to the rightmost lane, then it would be a simpler drive. So we went straight there, and then made a U-turn. Not a U-turn, it was supposed to make a U-turn, but then FSD positioned itself to not on the left turn bay, and then when the green light happened, I thought it's gonna go straight, and then it made a left turn to that. And I think I would have to say that should have been a disengagement from my part. Like, if it missed the left turn bay, I should have disengaged right away and then drove myself straight, and I should have reactivated after that. So that's something of a learning experience for me. And now FSD made that left turn, and it went straight, and it was able to exit to this inner lanes of Queens Blvd. But the thing is, there's a solid line there, but the navigation is saying to make a lane change towards the leftmost lane. But because there's a solid line, I disengaged because FSD is trying to go over that. So I just went straight and then reactivated. FSD wanted to make a U-turn at a spot where it usually does in prior tests, but it was not in position to the left turn bay. It was actually in the opposite end. And so it tried to make that left turn signal, but it just went straight when the green light appeared. And so we went straight, and then I think FSD knows some of the no U-turn areas here, because after that there was another left turn bay, and FSD didn't go there. Instead, it went straight further up and then made a left turn to where it can actually be allowed to make that left turn, and then eventually a U-turn. And so once we were on the U-turn to the outer lanes, which is this side of Queens Blvd, it was just a straight drive come in here. And what I noticed was that I thought FSD is gonna go to the parking lot, but it wasn't able to, and it went straight ahead, and so I had to disengage to just park here on the street. So those are all my takeaways for Popeyes, and if you find this video helpful or of value, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.